Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Journey to the West. Adventures against heaven. I become a Tiger Power Immortal Suze never expected that he would travel through the world of traveling to the West and become the Tiger Power Immortal among the Grassroots Three Immortals of Chechi. CountryFortunately, the Golden Finger followed closely and gained an incredible insight at the beginning, as well as a 10,000-fold investment return systemNo cultivation techniques. Look at my incredible intelligence. You observe the transmission method of the Great Immortal Yang Li and comprehend the Shangqing Great Cave Manual. You observe your own spell, 5 Thunder Palm, and comprehend the divine thunder of the upper clear. You observe the Great Immortal Mantra of Yangli and understand the 72 changes of the Xuanmen Zhengfa and Di Sha. You fight against Sun Wukong and understand the method of victory in battle. No magic weapon. Look at me investing 10,000 times and returning it. You bestow upon your disciple 1,000-year red fruit, 1,000-fold return on critical strike activation, and 1,000-year peach. You bestowed your disciple with the magical treasure, Tiger Head Gold Blade, which returns a critical strike 10,000 times. The day after tomorrow, you will receive the spiritual treasure, Tiger Head Ding Gold Blade. You invest in Yangli and Luli immortal fruits, and receive a 10,000-fold return on critical hits, as well as Hedao Flower. As time passed, the Grassroots Three Immortals completely counterattacked Luli. It seems like we have truly become immortals Suze. What is becoming an immortal? I want to become a saintFeilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Journey to the West, Seeking Flowers and Data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chechi, Zhengfa City. In a room in the backyard of the palace. A middle-aged man sat upright on a futon, looking as if he were a true immortal with a fairy-like demeanor. Unfortunately, in the next second, the big man broke through the defense, and the whole person shrugged and pulled down his head, howling in sorrow. Time travel. And also time travel into such a trap. Thief, do you want to play with me like this? As a young man born under the red flag and growing up in the spring breeze of the 21st century, Suze never expected to travel by himself. And as far as I know from my recent memory, time travel is nothing more. He actually became the Tiger Power Immortal of the Three Immortals of Chechi Kingdom in Journey to the West. These three immortals claim to be just three spirits that have not even achieved immortality, and their cultivation leads to a state of refining and returning to the void. Cultivation realm humanity. Refining essence and transforming chi, refining spirit and transforming spirit, refining spirit and returning to void, refining void and combining Tao immortal Tao. Earth immortal, true immortal, heavenly immortal, Tai Yi Xian immortal, De Luo Jin immortal, quasi-saint, saint, Hunyuan De Luo Jin immortal. However, although the cultivation of the three great immortals is low, their inheritance is the authentic sect of the Xuanmen sect. The three immortals coincidentally inherited the lineage of Shangqing. Although it is incomplete, at least it is imbued with the temperament of Shangqing. It is precisely because of this that they were able to rely on their power of refining and returning to the void to summon wind and rain, and solve the difficulties of the 3-year drought in Chechi country. It can be said that they are calling for wind and rain, but in fact, everything has to be attributed to the inheritance of the Upper Qing dynasty. After all, 80% of the positions in the entire heavenly palace are managed by the Upper Qing lineage, which will more or less give some face. Just face is for face, strength is strength. Suze is well aware that once the scripture gathering team arrives, his three brothers will definitely cool down. As stated in the original work, Chechi is one of the 81 difficulties and is a necessary disaster that cannot be avoided by any team that attempts to pass through it. No, I have to find a way to get out of here. Suze's face was gloomy, and he shook his head and stood up. Relying solely on the strength of the three of them, not to mention dealing with Sun Wukong, it would be enough to deal with that white horse. Can't I dodge even though I can't fight? Suze walked towards the door while thinking. Ding, you have been favored by chaotic consciousness while traveling, gaining the ability to defy the heavens. Ding, the system has been successfully launched with a 10,000-fold return on investment. Investing in a 10,000-fold return system, as long as the host invests in others, the system will perform a 10,000-fold return. Note: items returned by the system itself are not included in the calculation. 2 consecutive prompts rang out in Suze's mind, causing him to feel a bit confused. What's the situation? Golden finger. Suze was confused and immediately felt a large message coming in. After digesting the information, Suze finally understood what had happened, followed by ecstasy. Ha ha ha, I'll just say it, the golden finger is a standard accessory for the crosser, how could I not have it? Suze laughed heartily, followed by an inexplicable gleam in his eyes. With these 2 golden fingers, he suddenly felt that Chechi couldn't stay either. At that moment, there was suddenly a knocking sound at the door. Dong dong dong, Suze put down what he was doing and turned to look at the door, whispering softly. Enter. As soon as the words fell, a middle-aged man with a goatee pushed the door in, and the person who came was none other than the Great Immortal Yang Li, one of the 3 Immortals. The pointed monkey cheeks of Yang Li de Xian and a goat beard hanging from his chin make him look even older than Suze's body. Before Suze could speak, Yang Li, the Great Immortal, strode forward and walked directly to Suze. Big brother, the dinner is ready and it's time to go. Suze was momentarily taken aback and soon remembered that due to drought, their 3 brothers had helped Chechi with rainfall again a few days ago, and today's banquet was founded by them. This kind of behavior has not been happening for a day or 2, it has been like this since I first arrived in Chechi country. After each rainfall, the king would organize such a banquet to thank them, nominally proclaiming it as a celebration of the 3 Immortals. Okay, go over now. 3rd brother, lead the way ahead. Suze stood up from the futon and walked towards the main entrance. Quickly, after a series of palace corridors, Suze followed Yang Li to the banquet. As soon as it arrived, the originally noisy banquet fell silent, and everyone's eyes turned. Suze's face remained calm as he slowly walked towards a position on the high platform ahead. Along the way, in the face of compliments from the courtiers, Suze responded one by one and showed great family demeanor. I apologize for being 1 step late, Your Majesty. Suze arrived at his position and immediately bowed to King Chechi. The king sat on the throne, smiling and waving his hands slightly. No problem, no problem. The Great Immortal has brought down the Gonlin for our country, so it's appropriate to wait a while. After speaking, the king arranged for the banquet to begin. Suze nodded slightly and didn't say much, sitting down directly in his seat. As soon as he sat down, a young man wearing an orange Taoist robe with a fair face approached. Big brother, why are you only here now? Suze turned his head and learned from his memory that the person in front of him was the 2nd-ranked Great Immortal of Luli among the 3 Immortals. Don't be fooled by the young appearance of the 2nd son, but it's just a transformation. His real age is not much younger than that of Tiger Power Immortal. My heart has awakened, it has been delayed. Suze shook his head slightly and didn't say much. Talking too much is losing, after all, I have just traveled through it. Even if I inherit the memory of Tiger Power Immortal, some habits are still not easy to change. Seeing that Suze didn't want to say much, Immortal Luli stopped asking. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 2. Breakthrough, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, the banquet began, and exquisite plates of food were served on the table. Under the arrangement of the maid, fine wine and delicacies were presented one after another. A magnificent palace, exquisite costumes, and beautiful dancers dancing, creating a colorful scene. The guests exchanged glasses and cups, and people kept toasting the three immortals. Three great immortals, thank you very much for your support over the past decade to ensure a smooth sailing for our country. Yes, thank you very much to the three immortals. Let's toast them. To the three great immortals. Faced with the compliments of the guests, the three brothers refused at all and picked up their glasses and drank them all in one gulp. Even Suze was infected by the atmosphere, laughing and exchanging cups with everyone. Three great immortals, I also offer you a toast. King Chechi raised his glass and came to the three immortals, smiling and chanting. The three brothers raised their glasses at the same time when they saw the situation. Your Majesty. Drink the wine in one gulp. After toasting with the king, a large number of officials rushed over again. Perhaps due to excessive enthusiasm, these officials were drunk and collapsed on the scene one by one, talking in their dreams. The banquet went smoothly and everyone had a great time drinking. Soon, the banquet came to an end. The music has stopped, the dancer has also left the scene, and the officials have started to leave gradually. Suze and his two cheap brothers exchanged a glance, then stood up and prepared to bid farewell. Before they could speak, they saw that King Chechi had someone send a message to discuss something later. Three national teachers, Your Majesty, please. Upon hearing this, the three brothers didn't want to leave anymore, but instead asked the waiter to lead the way. Quickly, everyone arrived at the side hall. After everyone had settled down, the king spoke up. Three great immortals, to be honest, I have something to ask for. As soon as these words were spoken, the three brothers became even more confused. However, as the eldest brother, Suze was the first to speak out with emotion and reason. Your Majesty has something to do, but it doesn't matter. The Chechi king didn't show any concern and reached out his hand to lightly tap twice. Quickly, three young men walked in from outside. These three people, Suze, know each other and are the sons of Chechi Guo. They still have some intersection in the past. Three immortals, how do you observe me, the three kings? King Chechi pointed to his three sons and smiled. The three immortals exchanged a glance, with a hint of confusion in their eyes. To be honest, the three brothers greatly admire the merits and abilities of the three immortals and hope to learn from you. King Chechi also played tricks and directly expressed his intentions. The three immortals suddenly fell into silence. They really haven't thought about accepting apprentices. On the contrary, Suze immediately thought of the investment system he had obtained before. It doesn't seem like it's okay to take an apprentice. Seeing the three immortals silent, it seemed that out of fear of rejection, the king Chechi said again. The three immortals rest assured that as long as they can learn from their masters, all Chechi kingdom will worship the statue of Shangqing and establish Taoism as the national religion in the future. After all, everyone will be a family by then. As soon as these words were spoken, the great immortals Yangli and Luli immediately had a joyful expression and a very excited expression. Suze stood beside him, naturally aware of the reason for their excitement. During their time studying Taoism, the three brothers once encountered an old immortal. The five thunder correct method they are currently practicing was bestowed upon them by the old immortal, and coming to Chechi Guo was also instructed by the old immortal. Suze speculated that the so-called old immortal was mostly a senior member of the sect, but hesitated and was unable to come forward, so he assigned the three immortals to come here. At that time, the old immortals had a saying, hoping that they could make Taoism the state religion of Chechi and drive away all the monks. The three immortals dared not take the requirements of their mentors lightly, and for this reason, they came to Chechi country and fought for more than 10 years. They had already done the task of driving away all the monks from the beginning, but the idea of making Taoism the national religion had never been achieved because before that, the king of Chechi had been resisting the establishment of the national religion. Now that their mentor's wish is about to be fulfilled, how can they not be happy? Okay, we can take them as apprentices, but we can't guarantee how much we can learn. After all, the path of cultivation emphasizes the importance of understanding in fate. If there is not enough understanding in fate, we have no choice. Suze nodded in agreement. As the words fell, the three princes were also stirring spirits and knelt in front of the three immortals on the spot. Master, please accept my disciples' worship. Seeing the three of them so sensible, Immortal Yang Li was in a good mood and immediately taught them the 5 thunder correct technique. Ding, you have observed the transmission method of the Great Immortal Yang Li and realized it. According to the 5 thunder correct method, you will comprehend the cultivation technique Shangqing Jing. It is the main masterpiece of the Shangqing lineage, containing the ultimate principles of heaven and earth, which can directly reach the realm of the great Luo Golden Immortal. Subsequently, a series of scriptures containing the ultimate principles of heaven and earth appeared in the mind, and the magic within the body began to flow along with the scriptures. With the operation of the mana, Suze's mana, which had been stuck in the stage of refining and returning to the void, began to become turbulent and faster. Finally, more than 10 seconds later, a strong aura appeared on Suze. The breath flashed away, and Suze successfully advanced to the refining void Hedao. The next step was to become an immortal. This change naturally did not hide from the nearby Yangli and Luli. Big brother, did you break through? The two brothers turned their gaze to Suze, their eyes filled with joy and anticipation. Since arriving in Chechi country, the three brothers have not broken through the repair order for a long time. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 3. 10,000 times return, Suze win thoroughly, beg. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right, I broke through. Suze nodded slightly, releasing a burst of breath from his body after the breakthrough. Huh, that's great. Big brother has finally broken through. After feeling the repeated breath, Yangli and Luli both burst into laughter. Refining the void harmony Tao is only one step away from becoming an immortal. Even if placed in the mortal world, one can be considered an expert who is about to attain the Tao. Congratulations on the breakthrough of Tiger Power Immortals cultivation. Wishing you a speedy success and eternal blessings. King Chechi stood beside and congratulated. The three princes on the side were equally clever and knelt down again respectfully. Congratulations to Master Fu for his breakthrough. I wish Master Fu a speedy success and eternal blessings. Suze looked at the congratulatory crowd and couldn't help but feel delighted. Although this cultivation is not yet as hard as the Western Journey team, the newly obtained Shangqing Dadong Manual is actually real. And it also confirms that my golden fingers are very powerful. Thinking of this, Suze couldn't help but think of his other golden finger. Investing in a 10,000-fold return system. Suze turned his gaze to the three newly recruited disciples and immediately took out 3 red fruits from their bodies. Today, with double happiness at your doorstep, these 3,000-year-old red fruits will be your acceptance gift. Zhu Guo was left by his predecessor and was discovered by them during their intensive cultivation in the mountains and forests. He was prepared to be kept for breakthrough cultivation and is very precious. Sure enough, as soon as he pulled out something, the faces of Luli and Yangli immortals suddenly changed dramatically. Big brother, this. Suze naturally knew what they meant and waved his hand directly. It's okay, just a few fruits. Although they may be beneficial to us, they won't play a decisive role in the end. I will pass you a scripture later, and you will naturally know. The scripture naturally refers to the Shangqing Dadong Jinjing. The three brothers grew up together in the twilight and then practiced together. They can be said to be the most trusted people in this world by Suze. Suze never thought of hiding it from the two of them. And next, he also needs to carefully consider the matter of the scripture collection team. Just now, he realized that whenever he had the idea of leaving Chechi country, his whole mind would be filled with an unknown fear. In the dark, he felt that once he left Chechi country, great terror would come. Is this the so-called quantitative calamity in the past life? The kind that can't be avoided even if you want to. Just as Suze was having a lot of thoughts in his heart, Immortals Luli and Yangli stopped talking and only signaled to the three princes to accept it. The three princes exchanged a glance with King Chechi and immediately accepted Zhugua. And just as they accepted it, Suze couldn't help but hear the sound of the system in his mind. Ding, we have detected the host's investment behavior and are now offering a 10,000-fold refund. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the 10,000-year peach *3 item. The item has been stored in the system space, please check it carefully. 1 yen pantao. Is it the one in consciousness? Suze was ecstatic in his heart, but due to the presence of others, he could only suppress his excitement. Thank you very much, Master. Thank you very much, Master. Thank you very much, Master. At the same time, the three princes knelt down respectfully, their faces beaming with joy. You're welcome, I hope you work hard to cultivate, and one day you will also become a righteous person like us. Suze swayed without blushing or jumping. Perhaps seeing that both of his brothers had given benefits, even the great immortal Luli couldn't sit still. My second brother has bestowed upon you martial arts skills, and my eldest brother has bestowed upon you treasures. I will bestow upon you weapons. Speaking, Immortal Luli took out 3 long swords. Suze stood on the side, his eyes suddenly lit up. Yes, the magic weapon can also be returned. Suze, who reacted, immediately stopped the great immortal Luli. Third brother, wait a minute. Immortal Luli was puzzled and turned his head to look at Suze. Suze said solemnly. As their master, I am naturally entrusted with arranging the affairs of the magic weapon. After speaking, Suze took out 3 more spiritual treasures, namely the tiger head golden blade, the red refining spear, and the meteorist divine axe. The 3 items belong to the level of spiritual treasures and are rare treasures. For the 3 immortals who have not yet become immortals, they basically belong to emptying their families. It can be said that in order to return the good things, Suze has put in a lot of effort. These 3 items are all rare treasures, let's use them as your protective treasures. The 3 princes did not show any affectation and immediately distributed 3 treasures. The eldest prince held a tiger-headed golden sword, the second prince held a red refining spear, and the third prince obtained the meteor axe. Thank you very much, Master. And as they took the magic weapon, the sound of the system rang out in Suze's mind again. Ding, we have detected the host's investment and will begin to receive a 10,000-fold refund. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the medium-grade Ho Tian Lingbao 5 Fire 7 Bird Fan. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the medium-grade Ho Tian Lingbao Tiger Head Ding Gold Blade. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the lower-grade Ho Tian Lingbao Hunyuan Dao Pao. The item has been stored in the system space, please check it carefully. With the sound of sound prompts, Suze's smile became increasingly intense. The acquired spiritual treasure may sound slightly weaker than the innate spiritual treasure, but in fact, in terms of power alone, it may not necessarily be weaker than the innate spiritual treasure. Such as the golden Jiaojian, the heavenly turning seal, and the heaven and earth Xianhuang Linglong Pagoda, these are all acquired spiritual treasures, but they are not weaker than innate spiritual treasures. As for the 3 treasures that Suze obtained, although not well known, he had heard of the name of the 5 Fire and 7 Bird Fan among them. The 5 Fires and 7 Birds Fan is composed of 7 divine bird feathers. Phoenix wings, Qinghuan wings, Depeng wings, peacock wings, white crane wings, Honghu wings, and owl wings. It is also composed of the 5 fires of air, stone, wood, samadhi, and human. In the Battle of Fengshan, Ong Ren, the disciple of Qingshu Dao Jinjuan, used this fan to break through Lvu's Wenhuang formation, causing Lvu, the Grand Luo Jingxian, to die and disappear. His power is evident. Surprisingly, I have gained so much. It seems that I need to quickly improve my cultivation. Suze looked at the 3 treasures lying quietly in the system space and secretly decided in his heart. Although the magic weapon is strong, one's own strength is the most important, otherwise it is difficult to fully unleash the power of the magic weapon. Soon, Suze bid farewell to King Chechi, citing that it was too late. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 4. Becoming Immortal, Seeking Flowers, Seeking Data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Returning to the residence, as soon as he sat down, Suze pointed it out. Yangli and Luli instinctively prepared to dodge, but stopped immediately when they saw the spiritual power contained in their fingertips. They know that it's a transmission decision. Guard your heart and follow the operation of this cultivation method that I have passed to you. Suze shouted, his hand shining brightly, and the Dharma resolution of the Shangqing Great Cave scripture was transmitted. The majestic spiritual power surges on the sheep power and deer power, and countless spiritual energies flow. The Shangqing Great Cave scripture is the ultimate technique within the Shangqing lineage, which is many times more advanced than the 5 thunder correct technique they previously practiced. As they continued to comprehend the Shangqing Great Cave scripture, their breath became increasingly rich. After an unknown amount of time, their breath gradually calmed down and their spiritual power conversion was finally completed. Yang Li opened his eyes and exclaimed with surprise. Big brother, where did you come from with this law? Yes, big brother, did that master come to find you? Luli Immortal also opened his eyes and looked at Huli Immortal with surprise. Suze knew who the master in the mouth of the Great Immortal Luli was, the old immortal who had sent them to Chechi Kingdom. Although the old immortal never accepted them as disciples at that time, the 3 of them always worshipped that person as a master. Due to the difficulty of explaining with the golden finger, Suze could only throw the pot to the master who was unknown. Yes. Suze nodded slightly. At the same time, deep in the East China Sea, there is an unnamed immortal island. A strange beast was lying on the green grass. It looked like a cow, but only had 1 leg, which looked very strange. Ahem, what's going on? Who's talking about me? The monster grumbled twice, then closed its eyes and fell asleep. The car is delayed domestically. After Suze nodded, Luli and Yangli were immediately excited. Big brother, what did master say? Are there any other tasks? Yeah, big brother, when did master come? Why didn't you call us? You and I spoke 1 sentence at a time, and there was a hint of blame in Suze's words for keeping it from him. Suze had no choice but to grit his teeth and continue lying. Isn't it that master was busy with his family and left after passing on the things to me? And the master also said that in the future, he will gradually transmit the cultivation techniques through the method of separating the space. In order to save trouble, Su Zillian also found reasons for possible situations in the future. Upon hearing these words, Luli and Yangli could only give up. Master still holds a significant position in their hearts, as can be seen from spending more than a decade in Chechi country to fulfill a promise. Alright, let's all go back and practice well. Don't let down your master's kindness. In order to avoid revealing too much, Suze directly started to drive people away. Okay, we just got the cultivation technique, and we also need to go and understand it. If you have anything, big brother, please call us again. Yangli nodded and then left with Luli. The Shangqing Great Cave scripture is very mysterious, and Suze was able to grasp it quickly because he had comprehended it himself, but they needed a lot of time to comprehend it. After the two of them left, Suze first unfolded his spiritual consciousness and looked around, then made a decision to block the surroundings. Although Suze knew he couldn't stop a true expert, it was better than nothing. After not waiting for a long time, Suze directly retrieved the previous returned reward from the system. 3,000-year-old peaches and 3 postnatal treasures. Leaving Lingbao aside, Pantao looked very supernatural, with radiance flowing all over her body. The only fragrance it emitted made Suze's spiritual energy explode. According to the original work, eating a peach that ripens once every 9,000 years is equivalent to the longevity of heaven and earth, and the day and moon are the same. Isn't the effect of my 10,000-year peach even greater? Suze picked up one of the peaches, and a hint of excitement flashed in his eyes. Immediately, he took out a small knife and began cutting the peach in his hand. There's no way, the starting point of the predecessor was too low, and they haven't even become immortals yet. If he directly swallows the entire peach, the massive spiritual power is beyond his control. Maybe you can just rely on peaches to become a celestial being, and then you'll be crying without tears. The magic power that relies on spiritual objects to pile up is nothing more than the shallowest foundation, and it will create very large constraints that will be difficult to break through. As a man with golden fingers, Suze feels that at the very least he needs to become a quasi-saint, right? How could a small fairy deal with it? And it is also the weakest among the immortals. In the end, a large flat peach was cut into 10 parts, each of the same size. This should be about it, it's just a bit regrettable. A hint of flesh pain flashed in Suze's eyes. Although the split peaches achieved Suze's goal, they also suffered a significant loss of vitality. Twist a piece of peach crumbs and put them into your mouth, then move on to the Great Cave Sutra. The peach fragments may seem small, but when they fall into the stomach, they explode like bombs. This magical power is very massive, seemingly endless, constantly washing against Suze's body. Suze remained focused, strengthening his foundation while enhancing his mana. After the mana generated by this peach fragment was exhausted, he found that his mana had also reached the peak of refining the void combining Tao. Suze knew his idea was right, but fortunately he cut the peach, otherwise he might not have been able to control it and become an immortal. Shielding the distractions in his heart, Suze focused and continued to hone his foundation. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days practice has no time, and after an unknown amount of time, Suze once again twisted a peach into his mouth and swallowed it. The peach fragments fell into the stomach, exploded again and turned into a majestic magic, converging towards the Dantian. Soon, a fairy light erupted inside Suze's body. The fairy light was colorful and filled the entire room, and Suze seemed to be about to fly away in place. Breakthrough, the realm of earthly immortals. At present, the immortals have not yet been isolated, and becoming an immortal does not require crossing the thunder robbery, as long as the magic power is sufficient. Only after breaking through to become a true immortal, one needs to endure 3 disasters and 9 difficulties, and be able to overcome them to become a heavenly immortal, but unable to endure the ashes and smoke. Finally becoming an immortal, I finally have some self-protection power. Suze felt the beating fairy heart and simultaneously took out the 3 acquired spiritual treasures, feeling relieved. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 5. 72 Changes of Earthly Sha, Seeking Flowers, Seeking. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 5 Fire 7 Bird Fan Control, Tiger Head Ding Gold Blade Attack, Hunyuan Daopao Defense, Trinity. At this moment, Suze even feels like he dares to touch that monkey now. Of course, Suze also knew that this was a false impression, and if he really wanted to fight, he would probably be crushed. Watching a monster on the journey to the west, one can even fight a monkey with 2 moves, but that's just because they don't work hard. You should know that monkeys are the masters of causing chaos in the heavenly palace. With the cultivation of the Luo Jingxian, it's really difficult to deal with them seriously. After tidying up his mood, Suze roughly calculated the time and found that it had been more than 3 months since the last lockdown. After 3 months of seclusion, I don't know how my 2 cheap brothers are doing. It's time to slow down my cultivation now. I need to find a way to cast some more spells. Suze sat cross-legged on the futon, constantly flipping through the memories of his predecessor in his mind. My predecessor was an unknown old immortal who passed down the Dharma. Although all the techniques I practiced were mystical and legitimate, most of them were small techniques with limited power. Ding, when you look back at past memories, your inspiration bursts forth and you realize. According to the operating rules of the 5 Thunder Palm, after understanding, you have obtained a part of the Shangqing Divine Thunder Technique. Shangqing Thunder Technique. I'm really dozing off and encountering a pillow. Suze sank his mind and carefully comprehended the newly appeared Shangqing Thunder Technique. After a while, when Suze opened his eyes again, the thunder in his eyes flickered, as if the god of thunder was alive. If the 5 Thunder Palm is the pinnacle of mortal thunder, then the upper clear thunder technique can be considered the pinnacle of immortal thunder. Currently, Suze's cultivation level as a ground immortal can only exert 1% of his power. However, even if it's only 1%, Suze still has confidence in defeating anyone with the same level of cultivation. Now all the defects have been filled in. Suze stood up and walked slowly towards the door. It's time to take a stroll after being closed for so long. Let's relax and see if there are any opportunities for investment. Unfortunately, no one around me knows alchemy, otherwise my cultivation may improve faster. Suze sighed softly. Even though he had an incredible understanding, he could not comprehend alchemy out of thin air. Leaving the door, Suze was about to stroll around when he happened to collide with the 3 princes of King Chechi. Master, you have finally passed the level. I will go and inform Father and the 2 masters. Quickly, Immortals Luli and Yangli arrived. Big brother. Big brother. Suze looked at the 2 cheap brothers with a flash of gold in his eyes. Without any accidents, both brothers have broken through and reached the realm of refining the void combining Tao. In fact, it's normal to imagine. The 3 brothers have been stuck in the realm of refining gods and returning to the void for more than a decade. Now that they have converted their martial arts, they can easily break through. It seems that you have also made a breakthrough. Suze nodded slightly and smiled. Luli and Yangli exchanged a glance and smiled at each other. Thanks to Big Brother's teachings. Thank you very much, Big Brother. The 2 of them slightly bowed and arched their hands, expressing gratitude beyond words. Suze did not refuse either, standing still and accepting their offer. The saying goes that the Dharma does not spread to the 6 ears. The Tiger Power Immortal was able to easily pass on the Shangqing Great Cave scripture to them, even if it represented the old immortal's transmission of the Dharma. However, this is undoubtedly the grace of preaching and fully deserving of their worship. Hedao said, since we have broken through the old rules, how about we discuss it? Discussing the Tao is something that the 3 brothers often do, and in the past, they would discuss the Tao every time they made a breakthrough in their cultivation. Faced with Suze's request, Luli and Yangli naturally would not refuse. Quickly, the 3 of them sat cross-legged on the ground, and all except for the 3 princes left. Since I brought it up, let me start. After Suze sat down, he immediately suggested. Qing is a spirit, not all things. The profound truths are spoken from Suze's mouth, and the content is a mixture of the Shangqing Great Cave scripture and the 5 Thunder correct method, which is also Suze's understanding in the process of using his intelligence to deduce against the heavens. Upon hearing these words, Luli and Yangli also understood the elder brother's intentions and immediately held on to their hearts, striving to comprehend the mysteries within. As for the three princes, they have only learned the five thunder dharma, so their listening is somewhat ambiguous. Helpless, I just desperately memorized the content and prepared to comprehend it later. As time passed by, with Suze's explanation, Luli and Yangli's understanding of the scriptures became more profound, and their breath became even stronger. Soon, Suze's words closed and Luli approached to begin his discourse. I will no longer make a fool of myself for the five thunder dharma and the Shangqing Great Cave scripture that my elder brother talked about. Let me talk about the symbol method. Recently, I have just gained some insights. Immediately after, a series of insights about runes emerged from Luli's mouth, including some of his best rune analysis skills. After completing the deer power, it becomes the sheep power. Compared to the talismans of deer power, sheep power is better at using spells. I saw Yangli reciting a curse, his body shining with golden light. This is exactly the 8 great divine curses of the Xuanmen. The golden light curse. Soon, Yangli demonstrated the other 7 mantras. The pure heart mantra, the pure mouth mantra, the pure body mantra, the land of peace mantra, the pure heaven and earth mantra, the blessing fragrance mantra, and the Xian mantra. After the discourse ended, Suze also took the opportunity to obtain 2 immortal teachings. Ding, the host comprehends the foundation of the Fudao and comprehends the true explanation of the Shangqing Fudao on their own. Ding, the host comprehends the 8 great divine mantra of the Xuanmen sect and comprehends the Taoist Dharma, 72 changes of Earth Sha, on their own. The true explanation of Shangqing Fudao. It contains all the talismans of the Shangqing lineage and has the ability to summon wind and rain, scatter beans and become soldiers. When refined to a great extent, it can enter and exit yin and yang, and resist the great Luo Jingxian. 72 transformations of Earth Sha. A technique of transformation that can ascend to the clouds, descend to shrink the ground, avoid 3 disasters, and avoid 9 difficulties. It can be used at any time in wind, clouds, thunder, and rain, and cannot be harmed by water, fire, knives, or guns. Suze was overjoyed by the 2 techniques he had mastered. Especially the 70.2 transformations of the Earth Demon, which are the techniques of monkeys, I didn't expect to be comprehended by myself. With a suppressed excitement, Suze looked at the 2 cheap brothers. But I found that the 2 cheap brothers also had some enlightenment in their hearts. After summoning 3 princes and warning them not to disturb the cleaning of the 2 masters, Suze left the scene. He needs to find a place to experiment with these spells. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 6. First battle, seeking flowers, seeking data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although Chechi is sparsely populated due to year-round drought, its geographical range is indeed quite large. However, this also facilitates Suze. After flying away from the capital for a while, Suze found a huge mountain forest. It should be around here. Suze looked around and found that there were no people living for dozens of miles. After calming down, Suze's internal magic began to circulate, and the upper clear thunder technique condensed around him. The sky began to be shrouded in dark clouds. Click. Thunder rolled in the sky, and a purple thunderbolt descended from the sky, landing directly on the small hill in the distance. Boom boom, thunder fell, and countless thunder snakes roamed the mountain, splashing out purple light. The mountain, which is over 10 meters high, has been directly flattened, leaving behind a huge pit in its original location, and the land has become scorched black. His Suze leaned forward, looking at the destructive force in front of him, and couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. If this power falls on me, I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it, right? Only exerting 1% of its power resulted in such an effect, which made Suze even more shocked. After testing the Shangqing Thunder technique, the next step is naturally the true solution of the Shangqing Rune Dao, followed by the 70.2 changes of the Earth Sha. After testing the spell, it was already the second day. Unfortunately, my cultivation is still too weak, and I haven't fully unleashed the power of these spells. Suze shook his head slightly, looking somewhat helpless. Just had a test, and he could clearly feel that he was not up to par. Especially the 70.2 transformations, I feel like my mana is running out before I can fully unleash it. Due to not being in a hurry to return, Suze did not fly directly, but landed on the ground, ready to take a good look at the situation of Chechi. Speaking of more than a decade since arriving in Chechi country, my predecessor, apart from occasionally seeking rain outside, basically stayed in the palace and never took a good look at the cultural environment of Chechi country. In the following months, Suze walked through various cities in Chechi country, occasionally encountering arid areas where he would also sprinkle clouds and rain. After becoming an immortal, rainfall was no longer a requirement for Suze, but he could use his own mysterious magic to cast clouds and rain, which was basically just a matter of talismanship. On that day, Suze was walking between mountains and forests when suddenly he heard waves of cries for help. With nothing to do, Suze ran straight towards the source of the sound. Approaching nearby, a young girl collapsed between the mountains and forests, and the cry for help was made by the girl. At this moment, the girl fell to the ground, with blood flowing from her ankle. The wound was narrow and long, as if it had been injured by a sharp weapon. Suze walked slowly towards the girl, but he stopped before taking 2 steps. Wait, is there any fraud? The combination of the words, wilderness, girl, injured, and deserted really made Suze couldn't help but think more. Over the past few months, Suze has also gained a clear understanding of this world. This is a mythological world, full of demons and monsters. In the first 2 months of his travels, Suze encountered various life-threatening monsters more than once, all of which transformed into various forms to attract passers-by. However, due to their low cultivation levels, the strongest ones were only at the peak of practicing qi and qi, so they were all resolved by Suze one by one. After many attempts, Suze also became more prepared. Before encountering such situations, he would open his eyes and observe before making a decision. Suze condensed his magic power in his eyes and opened them up. Under the eyes of the law. The woman is still the same, and the wound has not changed at all. Blood is flowing and infecting the ground. Looking at the scene before him, Suze shook his head slightly. It seems that I overthought it. Suze let go of his mind and walked slowly towards the front. During this period, Suze has saved quite a few people. As the 5 good youth of the 21st century, when seeing the lives of ordinary people in this world, I still feel a bit reluctant. Perhaps in the eyes of the locals, life has been very good with the 3 national teachers after the rain, but in Suze's eyes, this world is purely like hell. It's ridiculous that immortals are high and mighty, while mortals cannot even provide food and clothing. Miss, can I help you with anything? Suze said softly. The woman seemed to have just discovered Suze and was immediately frightened. After seeing Suze clearly, he gradually calmed down. The woman looked at Suze and whispered, "Big brother, I accidentally injured my leg while picking herbs in the mountains. If my elder brother can rescue me, the young woman will definitely make a promise to repay my elder brother's kindness." The woman spoke, her voice turning into low sobs, her delicate appearance evoking pity. Suze stood in place, and his originally close figure also stopped because of this sentence. Suze squinted his eyes and stared fixedly at the woman. The woman was still crying at first, but she found that Suze had not been close to her for a long time, and was suddenly stunned. At that moment, Suze moved again. "Good trick, almost fooled by you. Take my 5 thunder palm." As soon as Suze finished speaking, the electric light in his hand flickered, and a thunderbolt flew out of his palm, heading straight towards the woman. The woman's face changed dramatically, and she clearly didn't expect that what was supposed to be good would suddenly take action. In a moment of panic, a white light emerged from the woman's body, directly blocking the thunder. "How did you discover it?" The woman stood up, her face visibly pale, and said coldly. At this moment, there is no more delicate image of the woman. Her whole body is surrounded by energy, holding a white bone whip. The terrifying pressure emanates from her body, and the chirping of insects in the mountains and forests remains silent. Guess what? Suze appeared playful on the surface, but was secretly wary in his heart. If it weren't for the warning sound of his rebellious nature just now, he would have really been deceived. Ding, you have gained a great understanding of the technique of resurrecting souls through borrowing corpses. You have a rebellious understanding and have obtained the technique of resurrecting from death. This is the hint he gave when he approached the woman before. Although he didn't understand what the technique of borrowing a corpse to revive a soul was, he knew that the woman in front of him was definitely not simple. After all, under the eyes of the law, she was a normal person. Humph, what if I find out? I still have to die. The woman snorted coldly and then waved her long whip to attack Suze. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 7. Stop. I want to eat farts. Seeking fresh flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With the long whip waving, countless ghosts filled the sky, and the darkness covered the sky and sun. Cries, screams, and pleadings were mixed in, and countless ghosts screamed in agony, all rushing towards Suze. Suze looked at this scene with a solemn expression on his face. The other party is too bold. The human race is the protagonist of heaven and earth. With so many ghosts mixed together, one bad one will attract heavenly punishment. Suze took out the tiger head spindle gold blade and struck it horizontally, blocking the rushing whip. Bang! The long whip collided with the blade, sparking flakes of sparks. Retract the knife, and Suze struck again. The terrifying knife light pierced through the sky and headed straight towards the woman's head, without any mercy for fragrance or jade. At the same time, the curse of rebirth was recited in the mouth, and the ghosts that were stirred by the sword light were constantly sent to rebirth. This reincarnation mantra is a mantra technique in the true interpretation of the Shangqing talisman, specifically designed to transcend ghosts. It is now used to counter opponents. Sure enough, as Suze recited the spell, those ghosts began to stir. A group of dead people still want to resist. Humph! The woman snorted coldly upon seeing the situation. Immediately after, a sharp scream came from the woman's mouth, with a mournful and gentle voice, as if it was about to shatter a person's eardrums. The sound was loud, directly covering the sound of Suze's rebirth curse, and those ghosts also quieted down at this moment. Hee, it's interesting. Suze was not surprised either. He knew that the other party must have some means to restrict ghosts. It was just a probe just now. The tiger-headed ingot golden sword was swung out, with a magnificent and powerful force as it struck Mount Hua. Bang bang bang, both sides are going back and forth, creating a real fire. The violent atmosphere permeated the mountains and forests, and the aftershocks shattered the forest, filling the sky with smoke and dust. Although Suze lacks combat experience, in the end, his martial arts and treasures are much stronger than the opponent's. After several rounds of fighting, the long whip in the woman's hand began to crack, and the woman herself began to experience physical exhaustion. Big Tiger, you can't do anything about me, and I can't do anything about you either. How about stopping today? The woman looked at Su Zilong and said in a voice. Suze silently swung out his long sword without saying a word. Stop it. I want to eat farts. It is you who will launch a surprise attack, and it is also you who will stop. Why? Suze's hand was filled with infinite sword power, and a white tiger phantom began to appear behind him. The phantom was huge and thick, pressing fiercely against the woman, as if the king of the forest was hunting. Dengcheng is one of the 70.2 transformations of the earth demon, an alternative usage that increases one's cohesive momentum. What? When the woman saw this scene, she was immediately shocked and retreated in an attempt to avoid the blow. Bang! With the light of the knife, a piece of training rolled over the woman. Originally, the tiger's shape was just a phantom, and the real killing move was this knife. Pushi, a soaring head flew up, its eyes wide open, as if unable to figure out why it had not avoided the blow. Seeing that the enemy had already surrendered, Suze gathered his sword and prepared to go over to investigate. Suddenly, a black room flew out of the corpse and then suddenly rushed towards the distance. Suze was first surprised, then snorted coldly. Want to run? Suze held on to Feilu in his hand, and his magical power surged with him, shouting loudly. Cloud comes. A white cloud fell from the sky, and Suze jumped into it, then drove the clouds towards the black mist. Soon, a strange sight appeared in the sky, a black mist runs ahead, and a white cloud chases behind. Unfortunately, the speed of the black mist seems to be much faster, and the distance between the two sides is gradually widening. It is estimated that it will not be long before Baiyun can catch up. Suze stood on top of the clouds, his face slightly ugly. There's no way. His current flying skills are just the simplest and most common way to soar through the clouds, and he doesn't have any decent escape skills. Although Suze didn't know what that black mist was, from its shape alone, he knew it was the opponent's trump card. In this situation, only if he could catch up would there be a ghost. Do you want to give up? Suze glanced at the horizon and saw that the other person had now turned into a small black dot, which would completely disappear in just a few seconds. Just as Suze hesitated, a flash of information flashed through his mind. Ding! After observing the demonic and foggy mind, you combined it with your own ability to soar through the clouds and mist to transform it. From it, you successfully realized the technique of transforming rainbows. Rainbow Transformation Technique. An ancient immortal technique that transforms the body into a rainbow and trains flight, reaching up to 80,000 miles in half an hour. A few seconds later, Suze's eyes lit up after receiving the message. Want to run? Humph. With the operation of the Dharma, the white clouds under Suze's feet disappeared, and his body directly transformed into a stream of light shooting towards the edge of the sky. This was exactly the technique of transforming rainbows. The rainbow transformation technique is not only an advanced version of soaring clouds and mists, but in just a few breaths, Suze's speed skyrocketed, and his distance from black mist narrowed at a visible speed to the naked eye. It's getting closer. It's getting closer and closer. In the black mist, the woman's soul looked at the stream of light chasing behind her, and her face changed dramatically. Damn it, why did he suddenly become so fast? The woman cursed inwardly, while constantly using spells in her hands in an attempt to increase her speed. However, there is a limit to any spell, just like Suze's previous, flying clouds and mists. If you can't catch up, you just can't catch up, no matter how you activate it. The situation is the same now. If you can't get rid of it, you just can't get rid of it. It's not something that can be changed just by working hard. Run. Where are you running? Suze had already reached the sky above the black mist, with a cold smile on his face. The hand was changing, and then a finger pointed towards the black mist. Shangqing Shenlei, illness, in the sky, there was a thunderous explosion on the flat ground, and then a purple lightning bolt appeared in the void, heading straight towards the black mist. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 8. Scum, Suze, and men. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The dazzling sky was filled with thunder and lightning, and the purple lightning snake was soaring in the sky, landing on the black mist in an instant. Click, thunder shines brightly, and the light blooms violently. Immediately after, a mournful scream sounded, and the sound was extremely painful. Thunder restrains the soul the most, let alone women, who bear the burden of injustice, have almost no resistance in the face of the supernatural thunder. The black mist dissipated like white snow, revealing the true colors of the woman. The thin soul flickers incessantly, as if it is about to dissipate directly. The woman gradually fell towards the earth like a rootless duckweed. Suze's eyes froze, and his hand made a decisive move. A large palm reached out and he grabbed the woman into his palm. Do you still want to run? After clenching tightly, Suze once again made a series of spells, with countless seals hitting the woman. After everything was over, Suze slowly fell to the ground, while the woman's soul lay in front. Tell me, who are you and why did you sneak attack me? Suze approached calmly, looking at the soul in front of him. At this moment, the woman's appearance was completely different from before, so beautiful that it was impossible to see anything. If it weren't for her unchanged aura, Suze even suspected that he had caught the wrong person. Humph, it's up to you to kill or cut. The woman seemed very dissatisfied and gave Suze a fierce glare, then glanced her head aside. Suze was taken aback and sneered, okay, then I'll fulfill you. As he spoke, the magic in his hand flowed, and thunder and lightning roamed around him. At this moment, the woman turned her head again and gazed at Suze with beautiful and tender eyes. Brother, do you really have the heart to take action against me? A hazy atmosphere permeates the surroundings, pink peach blossoms blooming one after another, and a primal desire impulse rises. Suze's figure paused and his face changed dramatically. Not good. As soon as the words fell, the previously concentrated magical thunder dissipated, and his eyes gradually became crazy. To cultivate one's moral character is never to cultivate combat power, but to cultivate one's character. Suze is ultimately an ordinary person, even if he inherits everything from the Tiger Power Immortal, and even if his cultivation is extremely breakthrough, he still cannot change the essence of ordinary people, and his mentality has not passed the test. Of course, the most important reason is that the woman's attacks are not attacks, but rather arouses Suze's primitive desires, which even the system does not care about. Humph, no matter how advanced your cultivation is, are you still going to fall for it? Seeing Suze hit the target, the woman sneered and climbed up from the underworld. Soon, the woman's soul began to solidify and eventually transformed into a physical entity. After finishing all of this, the woman began to seal her hands, but found that her magic had been banned by Suze, making it difficult to unravel. Damn it! The woman was angry and looked up at Suze. At this moment, Suze, whose eyes were originally scattered, seemed to have spotted the target and strode over with red light in his eyes. The woman also noticed this scene, and Duanshu's face changed dramatically. What are you doing? Don't come over. The woman slowly retreated, like a frightened little white rabbit, trying to escape in panic. How could she be Suze's opponent under the spell ban? Suze suddenly appeared in front of the woman, rising and falling. The huge palm extended out and grabbed the woman's fragrant shoulder. Ah! The woman felt pain and instinctively wanted to resist, but found that she couldn't break free at all. She was well aware of what she had just done to Suze, which was a seductive technique that could only be undone by the intersection of yin and yang. No, no, no. The woman shouted, and her face became increasingly ugly. Ah! Suze let out a howl and then suddenly pulled. With just one sound from Zila, the clothes turned into fragments. The woman is still shouting, but in the end, it is futile. At this moment, Suze had no consciousness, everything was done by instinct. Quickly, the surroundings were cleared, and with a painful cry, the woman collapsed to the ground. Smoke rises, and a pink mist permeates the mountains and forests. The surrounding mountains and trees also grow wildly for a while. I don't know how long it took, but with a roar, all the breath shook, and the entire mountain range seemed to shake a few times. All dust settles. After a long time, Suze slowly opened his eyes and looked at the woman in front of him with some complexity. At this moment, the woman's eyes were blazing with anger, wishing she could eat Suze directly. Both sides stared at each other like this until the atmosphere was somewhat awkward before Suze spoke up. Are you okay? From a heart-to-heart perspective, women are truly beautiful beyond measure, more beautiful than all the celebrity beauties Suze has seen in his past life. However, although both sides were enemies of life and death, such a relationship had occurred at this moment, and Suze didn't know how to deal with it for a while. You can kill me. There's nothing to say, that's how success and defeat are meant to be. The woman lay under Suze with a crooked figure, as if giving up struggling. Upon seeing this, Suze couldn't help but feel annoyed. Damn it, I still don't believe I can cure you. No matter what you think, things have already happened. Do whatever you like. Willing to come with me, I am the national teacher of Chechi. As long as there is a stutter in the future, I will not miss you. If you don't want to go with me, then you can leave on your own. The traits of a scumbag are perfectly displayed in Suze. If it were to be placed in modern society at this moment, Suze would inevitably be despised by thousands of people. It is not so unreasonable to be ruthless. I am the national teacher of Chechi, willing to follow me. As long as there is a stutter in the future, I will not miss you. If you don't want to go with me, then you can leave on your own. This statement seemed to have really touched the woman. She slowly stood up and used her magic to condense into a palace uniform. She looked up at Suze and didn't say much. She turned into a black mist and shot towards the distance. Looking at the black mist flying away, Suze sighed and said, "Am I going too far? Do you want to catch up?" Suze hesitated for a while, but finally shook his head. He is well aware that this kind of thing is constantly being sorted out and chaotic. It would be better for both sides to calm down in the current situation. So Suze would have said such heartless words before. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 9. The Shock of Yangli and Luli, Seeking Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the woman left, the scene quieted down. Just as he was about to leave, Suze suddenly slapped his head. Oh no, I haven't asked for the name yet. Looking towards the sky, there is no figure of a woman in the distance. Suze smiled bitterly. What is this called? Are you really going to become a scumbag? Helplessly shaking his head, Suze could only give up. Anyway, I have already registered my name, and if the other person has ideas, they will naturally come to find me. If there are no ideas, it only proves that fate ends here. Suze didn't think much and could only turn around and fly away from this place. I was just testing my spells, but I didn't expect to explore the entire Chechi country. After leaving the capital for so long, I don't know how my two cheap brothers are doing. Suze drove slowly towards the capital city. What Suze has seen and heard in the past few months has greatly broadened his horizons, and he has completely integrated into this world. Although the speed of driving the cloud was not fast, it was only relative to the technique of transforming the rainbow. In less than an hour, Suze had already arrived above the capital city. When Suze appeared again, he was already in his courtyard. Who? Who? Two loud cheers rang out, and Yangli and Luli appeared one after another in the courtyard. After seeing clearly that it was Suze, the two of them immediately showed a happy expression on their faces. Big brother. Big brother. The two immediately walked up, their faces very excited. Big brother, have you finished your work? Is there anything we can help with? Big brother, it's not me talking about you. Our three brothers are advancing and retreating together. If there's anything we can do, we can also help together. Yangli and Luli said one after another. Before leaving, Suze asked the three disciples to leave a message that they were out of town and had something to do, which is why the two of them inquired like this. Upon hearing these words, Suze's heart warmed. No problem, I'm just going out for a walk, it's not a big deal. Suze waved his hand and fixed his gaze on the two of them. The breath is long and steady, and depending on the situation, the two of them have completely established themselves in the realm of refining the void and harmony Tao. It depends on the situation. You two have gained a lot in the past few months. Suze chuckled softly. Luli and Yangli chuckled and nodded slightly after looking at each other. Luli humbly said, it's just a small breakthrough. After all, it hasn't achieved immortality yet, so it's nothing. Ergo is right. It's only now that I understand the difficulty of the immortal path. Yangli stood beside and sighed. In the past, I only regarded becoming an immortal as my goal and felt that I had lofty aspirations. However, when I finally reached one step away, I realized that this step was truly higher than the sky. Becoming an immortal is too difficult. According to their estimation, if there is no corresponding fate, they will need at least 100,000 years to continue sufficient mana. And the realm of refining the void and harmony Tao only has a lifespan of 10,000 years, which means that without accidents, they cannot become immortals. Suze waved his hand and comforted him softly, it's okay. This time, I have obtained some fate laws, which should help you break through the immortal path. After speaking, Suze took out 2 red and blue fruits from his body. Upon seeing the fruit, Luli immediately froze and murmured. Big brother, is this Jiaoli? Suze nodded slightly, and the fruit was indeed called Jiaoli. It was obtained by him in a remote area of Chechi country, with a total of 6. These were just 2 of them. When Suze first got it, he was somewhat surprised that this thing had grown in Chechi country, which made him marvel at how little his 3 brothers knew about Chechi country. Because although it is not useful for immortal cultivators, it has an unimaginable temptation for cultivators below the immortal realm. Its main function is to help cultivators in the realm of virtual harmony become immortals without any obstacles, and without any side effects. These 2, Jiaoli, were obtained by me in a barren mountain on the border of Chechi, so I'll leave it to you to take. Luli and Yangli heard the words, but did not go to pick them up. Luli said, Big brother, you should take this precious treasure yourself. We're not in such a hurry for a while. Yangli also agreed on the side and said, yes, big brother, take it yourself first. If there is any left, give it to second brother. Suze was momentarily taken aback, then remembered that they didn't know they had already broken through the earth immortal. At the thought of this, Suze's figure trembled, and a unique aura of immortality emanated from his body. Yangli and Luli immediately felt the breath they had been dreaming of. Big brother, you. The two of them looked at Suze with shock on their faces. Suze collected his breath with ease and nodded slightly. That's right, I've already broken through. This pair is useless to me anymore. Take it, break through as soon as possible. There are still many things waiting for us to do in the future. After listening to Suze's words, Yangli and Luli no longer hesitated and immediately took the Jiaoli. Okay, then we'll listen to Big Brother. Yeah, if there's anything, Big Brother, just give orders and don't hesitate to die. Yangli and Luli took over Jiaoli one after another, while also showing some loyalty. Just as they took it over, Suze's mind rang with a crisp system prompt sound. Ding, it has been detected that the host has invested in 2 pear trees, with a 10,000-fold refund for activation. Successfully returned, congratulations to the host for obtaining 2 Hedao flowers. Hedao Flower. After devouring, it can break through the Great Luo Golden Immortal. If the Great Luo Golden Immortal devours, it will increase by a small level. Note: the minimum requirement for devouring is the first level of the Xian Immortal. If the condition is not met, devouring may directly transform the Tao. A series of prompt sounds echoed in Suze's mind, especially after understanding the effect of Hedao Flower. Suze's face lit up with joy. Yangli and Luli didn't think much, they just thought that Suze was happy for them. Alright, those who need to chat are also chatting. Let's all go back. Coincidentally, I have also gained some benefits from this trip, and I plan to continue my seclusion for a while. Suze waved his hand and began to drive people away. Yangli and Luli did not hesitate and bid farewell one after another. They just got a genius treasure like Jiaoli, and they also wish they could practice quickly. Xian, who can resist such temptation? Quickly, the courtyard fell silent, and Suze returned to his room and sat cross-legged on the futon. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 10. De Dao Tian Xian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Strictly speaking, the actual gains from this trip were not much, but more of a psychological improvement from what was seen and heard. Before this, the world of this immortal god was unfamiliar to Suze, and even somewhat out of place, but after such a period of travel, he gradually adapted. And during this period, Suze also improved his combat experience through many battles, which is undoubtedly the most important for him. It's time to continue improving your cultivation. Suze sat cross-legged, taking out the remaining peaches from the space. Last time, breaking through the Earth Immortal only consumed 1/5 of the flat peaches, and the remaining 8 fragments were sealed by Suze with magic. Twisting up one of the fragments, opening the seal, a fruity aroma permeated the surroundings. Suze didn't dare to be careless. As he was about to swallow the peach fragments, his internal magic began to work. The surging magic spreads within the body, washing away other parts of the body to create immortal bodies. As time passes, whenever the mana generated by the peach is exhausted, Suze will pick up another one and put it into his mouth. At this moment, he is already a earthly immortal, and compared to before becoming an immortal, he has a greater spiritual binding power on the peach, making it easier to devour. The magical power constantly washes away, washing away the body and imprinting the rules inside, and the transformation of immortality and fandom begins at this moment. Time flies like an arrow, and the sun and moon shuttle like a shuttle. In the blink of an eye, several months have passed. When Suze opened his eyes again, a mysterious aura filled his body. Suze adjusted his spiritual perception and looked inside, with a satisfied expression on his face. Not bad, the peak of true immortality. Indeed, after becoming an immortal, you can absorb these spiritual objects faster. Before becoming an immortal, if it takes 3 months for Suze to digest a piece of peach fragments to generate spiritual power, then it only takes about 10 days for Empress Dowager to become an immortal, with a difference of nearly 10 times. That's exactly why, in just a few months, Suze broke through from his initial entry into the Earth Immortal realm to the peak of true immortality. Suze slowly restrained his breath and a hint of sadness flashed on his face. At the moment of breakthrough, Suze felt a palpitations. This feeling felt as if he was about to die in the next moment, and Suze knew that the scripture gathering team was coming soon. Next is to overcome the 3 disasters. Fortunately, I had 70.2 changes before, otherwise it would have been a bit troublesome. Suze's mind moved and he appeared directly in the mountains and fields several tens of miles away from the capital city. Subsequently, the magic power operates, connecting heaven and earth to trigger the 3 disasters. Firstly, there is a thunderstorm. If it strikes you, you need to understand your nature and avoid it in advance. If we can avoid it, our lifespan is equal to that of heaven. If we can't avoid it, we will end our lives. Next is the fire, which is called the Yin fire. It burns from under its own gushing spring hole and penetrates through the mud wall palace. The 5 organs turn into ashes, and all limbs are decayed, turning the 1,000-year-old asceticism into illusion. Finally, there is the wind disaster, which is called the bye-bye wind. It blows into the 6 organs from the fontanelle, passes through the dantian, penetrates the 9 orifices, and the bones and flesh dissipate and disperse. Its body dissolves on its own. Infinite thunder flies through the sky, the never-ending Yin fire burns out, and the wind fills the 5 organs and 6 viscera. These disasters are fatal to the average person, but they are not a big deal for Suze. Suze, who had comprehended the 70.2 transformations, immediately activated his magical power, flowing streams of light around him. Suze's body is hidden in the void, in a place that cannot be touched by the 3 disasters. The thunder disaster is blocked outside the body, while the Yin fire roars like rootless duckweed. The bye wind is confined within the body and cannot penetrate the 6 organs of the dantian. As time passes, the 3 disasters become increasingly weak and powerless. After a period of time, a golden light burst out of his body, and Suze knew he had succeeded. After the 3 disasters, he was granted the position of Tian fruit, also known as Arhat in the West. Becoming a heavenly immortal means that Suze really has a certain level of capital in this world, at least not comparable to those who use dragon traps. Who finally succeeded. Feeling his energetic body, Suze-chang let out a sigh of relief. This is the heavenly immortal, living together with heaven and earth, shining together with the sun and moon. At the same time, he felt like he had endless strength, as if the whole world was under his control. Suze knew that this was the same as last time, where breaking through too quickly caused the mana to float in his body. He only needed to meditate for a period of time. After understanding the reason, Suze returned to his residence and sat cross-legged, taking out the remaining 2 peaches. At this moment, he has already achieved immortality, and the flat peach still has a great effect on Suze. Pick up one of them and swallow it directly into your stomach. Magic flows within the body, washing away the unstable foundation that has broken through too quickly. Once, twice, 3 times wave after wave of magic was guided by Suze, filling his own dantian. In the early stage of immortality, mid-heavenly immortal period, late Tianxian period, as time passed, 2,000-year-old peaches were all swallowed into Suze's stomach, and the aura contained in his body became even stronger. And just as Suze was closed, an unexpected guest arrived in the capital of Chechi country. The person who came here is a woman, and if Suze were here, he would definitely know him. This person is the woman who had a night of romance with him that day. Who are you? Why did you come to my car country to cause trouble? Luli and Yangli have solemn expressions. The pressure on them from the woman in front of them was immense. If it weren't for breaking through to the Earth Immortal just a few days ago, they would have no resistance at all. In the distance, a woman holding a long whip stood coldly in place, staring at Luli and Yangli. I'm not here to cause trouble. Let your national teacher from Chechi country come out, and I'll find him if I have something to do. In her induction, the bodies of Luli and Yangli were ethereal. If it weren't for giving face to that tiger demon, she would definitely not have been able to speak so calmly. National teacher. Luli and Yangli were momentarily stunned at the words. Good guy, aren't we national teachers? The 2 of them looked at the woman in a strange way. The woman also felt this kind of gaze and immediately shouted fiercely. If he doesn't come out again, I'll have to take action. Magic condenses on the whip, and countless vengeful souls flash behind it. This scene immediately changed Luli's face, and he quickly pulled out his weapon to prepare for defense. Yangli quickly explained, Miss, did you find the wrong person? We are the national teachers here. Find the wrong person. The woman was clearly stunned at the words, and her eyes began to flicker. Isn't it that the other party was really deceiving themselves back then? P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me.